Good story. Good message. Very good message. Yeah. Well, okay. So let me end now. I hope you enjoy this. Let me end with how to tell a story, and with a story that will tell you how to tell a story. Is that okay? Yeah, 10 more minutes. So the way to tell a story is, number one, is of course you know the message. Yeah, you know the characters, you know the challenge, you know the context, you know what you want to put across. Now to tell the story powerfully. There are certain things about the story. Your story shouldn't complain. Your story shouldn't name names. Your story shouldn't point fingers. Are you with me? It shouldn't point fingers. Because if you want to inspire people, you want to inspire people with the message, with the experience. You don't want to inspire anyone else by putting somebody else down. That never works, trust me. It might be the most exciting story, the best message, but if you have put another human being down, wala na yan. Wala na yan, no? So the way to tell a story is, number one, have those 5 or 6 blocks inside your head. You must live them. The message and the experience must excite you. If it doesn't excite you, if it doesn't turn you on, if it doesn't make you smile, be happy, become a better human being, it's not gonna light a fire in somebody else's soul. Yeah? So, relive it first, many times in your head. The more you tell a story, the better it becomes. Because what you do is you keep on removing the unessentials. You learn to highlight the high points. No? That's what happens over time. Stay in the hot zone, warm up. No? Once the story is inside your being, it's inside your system, it's in your bone marrow, it comes out on your face. It comes through your voice. No? People sense it. If you miss a word, if you miss a detail, if you don't explain something, it comes through your actions and gestures and your footwork. No? So yeah, your body speaks it. Speak slowly, like Bo Sanchez does. Enunciate, no? Play with your voice. Serving with a sizzle and a salsa. And sometimes call for audience participation. We can't try that here today. You know, it'll take a lot more preparation. But let me give you an example of a good story delivery that excites me and that turns me on, and see if I can input all these elements into that. Are you ready for a closing story? Say yes. Now, the context. This is a true story. Of course, stories are supposed to be about truth, no? And this is very personal to me, yeah? You know, I don't like to call myself a speaker or a motivational speaker or anything of that sort. I like to call myself a learning facilitator. I want to teach people how to learn something and make good use of it. That's how it is, no? And that was my passion. That is my passion. It just came out, say, 10, 15 years ago, and I chose to do this. And I promised myself I'll do this. Doesn't matter what hardships I have to face. Doesn't matter what price I have to pay. Doesn't matter if I have to turn into skin and bones. I will do what I want to do. Period. No? So when you start off in this industry of speaking and training and facilitating, obviously you don't get work right away. Nobody gets business right away. No? So in the early years, about 12 years ago, I used to speak anywhere, everywhere, with pay, without pay, drive up to Cagayan de Oro, go to the north, go to the south, go to the provinces, anywhere, school boards, parent-teacher meeting, I stand up and I speak. No? So one time, somebody invited me to go and speak somewhere in the north of the Philippines. And they said, Raju, our original speaker hasn't turned up. Could you fill in the place of that person? I said, what was the subject matter? And the subject matter of that previous speaker trainer was grammar skills. Sabi ko, you know, I'm a Bombay, I don't know English that well. How do I know English? No? Can I teach something? And how about sales? How about negotiation? How about lending money, borrowing money? They said, okay, game. I'm just kidding, don't laugh so much. So, sabi nila game. No, we spoke about leadership. No? So I said, okay, fine, I'll come and do leadership. The money was this much. The challenge was that much, right? Excitement level for me, whoa. Because I love the ball game, no? So there I go, drive up to the north of the Philippines, and as usual, I like to be 1 hour earlier before my event. If it's 9, I like to be there at 8. So I turn up at 8, and there are about like this, exactly this number of people in the room. They're all school teachers, administrators, principals, educators. They came to that room to learn English grammar skills or something. And here I am teaching about, no, not money lending, okay? So here I'm teaching about leadership. So I go up on stage and I start my day. Start at 9. Everybody's participating. Everybody's enjoying. Everybody's asking questions. I flip through my slides, no? People are nodding, asking questions. People are chatting. They agree, etc., etc. I go down, ask a few questions, play a few games. There's one table out there in the corner. That one there. Can you all turn there to that table there in the corner? Those people who are texting, and there's a long-haired Bombay there. Yeah, long-haired guy, can you stand up? So that's one table there which was not participating. They were busy amongst themselves. Now, as a facilitator, as a teacher, you realize that you need to involve everyone. Tama? No matter, even a stray sheep, you have to go and get that sheep in. So I made a few efforts to ask them questions. I went up to them. But by 12, they were busy. They were making noise, clattering, etc., etc. And everybody else realized, may mga problema doon. So lunchtime, during the lunch break, from 9 to 12, I go up to them. And I go up to that table and I said, hey, how are you guys? Oh, these are senior administrators, rich-looking men like you. People like you, yeah? And I go to them, I said, is everything all right? They said, yeah. It seemed to be like you're not participating in everything, okay? They said, yeah, all right. Then I said, what can I do to get you a little bit more excited in participating in this class? And then they go, it's not about you. It's about the organizer. She promised us English language skills, and here you are talking about leadership. I said, whoa, that's correct. That's right, because your previous speaker didn't turn up, and I was a last-minute fill-in, no? And obviously that's not my set of skills. This is what I know, and this is what I'm doing. And I thought I already declared that in the morning before when I came in. They said, yes, but we are still upset with the organizer and etc. We've been waiting for this event and we spent money, etc. And we are not getting what we came here for. Tama. Obviously, it was out of my hands. That was my challenge, right? It was out of my hand. What do I do? So I said, I'm going to go up to the organizer. I'm going to call her in and I'm going to let her talk to you. So I go bring in the organizer who was hanging outside collecting the money, etc. And she comes in into that last table. And she sits in from 12 to 12:15 to 12:30 to 12:45 till 2 p.m. to 2:15, 15 past 2, 2:30, quarter to 3. These guys have not come to a settlement. They are screaming and shouting at each other. The organizer and this bunch of wealthy people. While the rest of them are slowly losing interest. Some of them are going out to smoke. Some of them are... Those days, I think there were not too much Facebooking done, but people were kind of disappearing and losing interest. All the 2.5 hours, I, number one, as it is, I'm an alien, plus I was an alien in that community and an imposter, I stood by that wall quietly. I didn't move. I didn't say a word, I just waited until these guys would come to peace because it was nothing that I could do. It was out of my hands. But by the time it hit 3 p.m., I said, Raju, you need to do something because something needs to be done about this situation, right? Even though it's not called upon you to do so, you're not responsible, you have to do something. So I walked up to these people. I said, may I ask you a couple of questions? I believe in questions, by the way. I believe in the power of questions. Dean Pax was right. Power of inquiry. I believe in the power of questions because you don't tell people, you ask them and they do. So I went up to these people. I said, may I ask you a couple of questions? And the gentleman says, the lady there says, go ahead. No? I said, is it true that you wanted to be here, you planned to be here more than a month ago? Did you pay for this event, and did you plan to be here more than a month ago? They said yes. Then the second question I asked, you have all paid for this? You have invested some money? That means when you sign up for something a month ago, you have invested hope, right? Then you put in a little money, yeah? Then I asked them, now that you invested a month of hope and expectation for today, and you put in some money, the third question I want to ask you, you took the day out of your life. That means you put aside all other commitments, all other work, all other things that you have to do with your family, with your work, etc. And you are here, 9 to 5. Mind, body, soul, and laptop. You're here. Tama? They said, yes, we are here. Good. And now let me ask you the fourth question. They said, go ahead. From 9 until 12, when I was talking up there on stage and you were busy having your own conversation, did you, by any chance, find something worthwhile? Did you hear a little bit? You know, like people can hear two things if they want to, right? They can listen to this conversation, that conversation. They said, Yeah, obviously, I've got them cornered a bit now, no? They go, All right. I said, let me ask you one more question. Question number 5. You got a little bit. How about the rest? What do you think? They got some? They said, I think so. It's none of our business, but yes, they got some. Now, my question is, I said, since you've taken the time off, you invested 1 month into it, you put the money down into it, you enjoyed a little bit, I've got 2 more hours left to finish my day, to make my day worth the while of the other 450 people who are in this room. No? I said, is it okay that I go up there and the next 2 hours I finish reaching my objectives of the day? No? At the end of the day, 5 p.m., if you're not happy with what I do, I will give you back the money that I'm being paid for this event. In fact, you can have it right now. May I please have your permission to go up there? Then they said, okay. So I went up on stage, and for the next 2.5 hours, I wrapped up the whole event. Yeah? And after the event was over, some people gave me a little mild applause, and some people were happy. Most people were shy and afraid of this group. Some of them walked away nodding, you know, a little bit waving, etc. Some smiling, some went away. And I went back to that corner again where I was standing in the afternoon, and one young girl, she comes up to me, and she tells me, she said, sir, and this is heartbreaking, guys. I mean, this is heartbreaking. She comes up to me and she says, sir, I'm a new teacher, she says. I've just started teaching. Most of them were teachers. And she said, I have never seen anyone go through such humiliation and exercise so much patience to do what he likes to do. And sir, I am impressed, and I'm going to go and be the best teacher I can be. I swear to you, it broke my heart. It broke my heart. That was 12 years ago. And just 1 out of 500 people. And that girl took the courage to come up and tell me what was the truth. What was the real truth. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you tell a story. That's a true story, by the way. So good afternoon. And may God bless you, and may you lead and inspire people.
Another big hand for Raju. Thank you. That was incredible. That was amazing. You know, being able, I was excited to hear Raju because I've learned the power of stories very recently. Most of you know that I have a 14-year-old son. And how many of you have teenagers? Raise your hand if your kids are teenagers now. How many of you understand this? You can identify with this, that instructions don't work very well anymore with teenagers. Yes or no? When they're small kids, it's so easy. You tell them, do this, they'll do it, you know. They'll say it with a big smile. Yes, mommy, yes, daddy. But the moment they're teenagers, you can't use instructions as often anymore. So what do you use? You use the 2 things that Raju shared with you today. Number 1, you use stories. That's what I've been doing. I use stories. I tell my son, you know, this happened to me, and I you know, when I was 13 years old, and you know, and he would be so excited just listening to the details and the texture, and this, it's just beautiful. And then at the end of the story, I say, it's up to you, son. What lesson? And I don't even have to tell you the lesson, but you pick up from there. And then the other thing is questions. I ask questions. I don't tell my son what to do. I ask questions, and I keep on asking questions until he discovers what he should do. So it works in parenting. It works in business. It works everywhere. So did you learn something today? Hallelujah.